everyone, it's Gina from orchidandopal.com, and today we're going to be opening up together the bargain bead box subscription for October 2022. I know this is one of our favorites, and if you haven't checked out this subscription yet, or if you'd like to find out more about it and sign up, I do have the link right down below the video for this subscription. You can find out more information there, and I have a coupon code. It's Opal2, and that will save you $2 off the first month, which is a great deal considering it's already only $19.49 a month with free shipping if you're in the US. And we always get a selection of gemstone and glass beads and other types of course, as well as coordinating metal findings in a fun and different theme and color scheme. Every month is something different, and I am itching to find out what is inside the package this month. All right, so the insert that we have says that our theme is called A Night in the Woods. We're going to see some warm campfire colors and leafy spacer beads, some owl motifs, carnelian gemstone beads, some garnet, tiger eye, and more. That sounds quite nice, especially for this autumn season. And let me pull in our package. As you can see, we have quite a bundle to go through, and this is a sneak peek of that. Everything tucked inside this organza bag. And of course, on the back of that insert, we have the list of everything that's included. We're going to have 18 different things to go through this time. So you can see that averages out to just like $1 per item, which is an awesome deal. And in addition to what you get in the subscription, you also get a monthly 30% off coupon to use at their sister store, which is beadboxbargains.com. And I've shared a lot of things from them on a regular basis. So feel free to check out those past videos, and you also can enter to win a random drawing for credit to their sister store if you make some finished pieces from the contents of their subscription. So if you just submit a photo to their email address or their Facebook page, you never know, you just might win. And either way, you'll be having fun, right? All right, so I'm ready to get into that organza bag. Let me go ahead and get organized, then we'll go down the list of everything we see here, close up one at a time. In bag number 1, we have a 7.5-inch strand of 3mm finely faceted Hessianite garnet round beads. So as you can see, we're starting out right out of the gate with this subscription with some of these beautiful, finely faceted gemstone beads. These are garnet, but instead of the typical very deep maroon or red that we're used to seeing with this variety, it's a little bit more on the orangey and brown side. And just look at how these sparkle beautifully. They do let a lot of light through, and it's just amazing how they're able to facet these little tiny stones. In our second bag, we get a peek as to what the color of our findings and metallic components are going to be for the month. We have a 1-meter strand of 4x3mm textured steel jewelry chain. And we usually get a selection of chain that coordinates with our findings and components. This time we have the oval-shaped links, and you can see that bit of texture that is located on each of those links. And it does look like these are open links, which means you can open them up and attach them directly to your beadwork, even using some of these as jump rings if perhaps you are a brand new beader and maybe you don't have all the components you need to go with this particular color. Looks like the links are big enough to use as a form of extender chain as well if you want to snip off small segments of it, and also wire wrap onto. Bag number 3 contains 4 pieces of 35.5 by 14mm feather links. I have seen these before. We've gotten them in some different colors, and this time they're in that coordinating antique bronze color with lots of detail on the top. And if you flip them over, you can see they're not double-sided, but they are nice and smooth on the other side. They've got a slight curve to them and those wide open links on both ends. Bag number 4 contains 10 pieces of 18 by 9mm double-sided owl charms. That is a generous quantity. You can see that owl shape with the loop there located at the top. And as it says, they are the same on the front and the back. Next, in bag number 5, we have a 10-piece strand of 10mm red tiger eye round beads. Those are really gorgeous, and the tiger eye sometimes reminds me of a wood grain, especially when it has some of that sheen like you can see. And instead of being a more golden brown like we're used to seeing, these definitely have a bit of a more reddish brown tone to them overall, in addition to that very, very dark chocolatey brown. We're on bag number 6, and we have yet a third gemstone bead strand with some garnet round beads in the 4mm size. And these are very smooth and glossy, as you can see, and the typical garnet color that we're used to seeing, as opposed to that number 1 bag that had the Hessianite garnet that was a little bit lighter and more golden brown in tone. And this is a 7.5-inch long strand. Our 7th bag contains 20 pieces of 6 by 5mm crystal faceted lantern beads in slate/dark vitriol. These will add a touch of sparkle to whatever it is we're putting together. They also add a little bit more transparency and those pops of metallic colors that you usually find with that vitriol coating that is on top of these crystal beads, and that really interesting way of faceting that really shimmers as the light reflects off their different surfaces. Next up in our 8th bag, we have a 16 by 6mm brass magnetic barrel clasp. So it's pretty cool to see something like this. We get a lot of toggle clasps, but not as often the magnetic style. And this one, of course, coordinates with our other metallic components this month. And we'll see how strong that is. Definitely very strong magnet. Love that. Then we get to bag number 9, which includes 20 leaf spacer beads. And I know a lot of us have seen these before also, and maybe in different colors. And of course, this time we have our antique bronze. They are also double-sided and give us that leafy kind of autumn feel with these spacers. And they have a hole that runs up and down the length of the leaf shape. In bag 10, we have 2 pieces of detailed owl charms. Looks like we have quite a few owl charms this month. These are in a different style, and you can see that on the back, it's got the back of the owl, and the front has, of course, the front, so different details on both sides. And of course, I like the fact that they're double-sided with the loop at the top. With bag number 11, we're bringing in a bright pop of orange with a 13.5-inch strand of 4mm crystal faceted bicone beads in orange AB. And we have this nice long strand of these bright orange beads with the hint of iridescence and shiny and reflective faceting. The bicones, of course, are a very versatile bead that you can use in bead weaving projects and also using in stringing projects, of course. And these will add a touch of sparkle and also a little bit of vibrance to some of these darker tones. In bag number 12, we have a 10-piece strand of 12 by 8mm faceted crystal barrel beads in ivory luster. These are neutral, but they are so shimmery. They've got a lovely luster coating over the top of the glass, as well as all the faceting that you can see on the surface of these barrel-shaped beads, giving us yet another shape and size to work with also, in addition to another complementary color for the theme. Next, in bag 13, we have one of our focal pieces. This is a 46 by 38mm round owl pendant. So that is a pretty substantial piece and lots of details, as you can see, on the owl itself, and also some of that branch or vining that you can see around the outside loop. That open area around the owl presents some opportunities for some additional beadwork, but of course we have the loop at the top to use to attach that to a necklace, and there's a peak at the other side of this piece. Next, in bag 14, we have a 10-piece strand of 13 by 8 millimeter crystal faceted twist beads in light topaz luster. Oh man, another gorgeous shimmering strand with a hint of a silvery luster coating that you can see flashing back, and that twisted faceted shape giving a lot of different reflective areas on the surface. And this color presenting us with some of the lighter gold or champagne tone that complements some of our darker colors. And then in bag 15, we have a 15-inch strand of 8 millimeter faceted carnelian rounds. Just look at this generous strand of these very juicy, smoothly faceted carnelian rounds in the substantial 8 millimeter size. And these have a very deep burnt orange color that kind of lean towards the red side as well. Even though they've got that red string inside on their own, they have a bit more of a reddish tone. Bag number 16 holds 20 pieces of 6 millimeter English cut carnelian round beads. So we have another strand of gemstones, a lot of gemstones going on in this particular month's theme, and something different than we've received in the recent months. And these, instead of being the smooth or faceted rounds, we have the English cut variety, which have those different angles to them, and also present us with another 6 millimeter size to combine with some of the other sizes of beads. In number 17, we have a hand-carved Carnelian Owl, an optional pinch bail, and the owl is about 22 millimeters in size. So here is the Carnelian Owl with the carving that I have in my hand, and I'm sure they're all going to be just a little bit different, maybe some darker, maybe some lighter, or some that have a little bit more variation in their color. That's just because they are a natural material, so they're all going to differ a tiny bit. And there's a look at the back of the owl. You can see that the back is carved a little bit differently to give you that three-dimensional appearance. And the optional bail that they've included, which you can use to attach to the top of that loop and attach to your beadwork. So that is the second focal component that we've received. We had that other metallic owl component, and as many of you know, I'll use those focal components to design different pieces around, and the bargain bead box usually provides us with at least 2 different things like that on a regular basis. And last but not least, in bag 18, we have a 10-piece strand of 10 millimeter crystal faceted half matte round beads. Some more lovely crystals, this time in a chunkier 10 millimeter size. They do have some faceting, which adds some sparkle and iridescence. With that AB finish, you can see those flashes of some pink and a little green especially. And you see those frosted stripes located on either side of the bead closer to the holes. So that wraps it up for our shipment this month, the Night in the Woods bargain bead box theme, which feels very autumnal and gives us a selection of these warm campfire-like colors and that nighttime feel, especially with the owl components. And as usual, we have a great mixture of different sizes and shapes of beads, not only gemstones, but also glass and crystal, and our coordinating findings. I think they did a great job. I love how every month is different. We don't get the same color scheme 2 months in a row. So it's great to build up your stash of different things over time and also work with all sorts of palettes and not always the same type of thing. So it's a great surprise at a very reasonable cost. Don't forget you can use that code OPAL2, which will save you $2 off, and I'll leave that down below as well as the link to the subscription. I look forward to playing around with some of these items as usual. Hopefully I'll be back on the next finished jewelry update to show you some of the pieces that I've made, and perhaps some things will show up in a new tutorial a little bit later on. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of the future updates. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here to unbox this with me, and if you'd like to, you can leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this month's theme, or if you have a favorite item, or anything else you'd like to say. Feel free to give the video a big thumbs up and also share it with your other beading friends. But that's all I have for now. Until next time, I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day, and as always, happy beading!